Ozzie Virgil, welcome to the Lehigh Valley. How has your stay been?
It's been great. I took in a little history, went to Gettysburg, saw some of the battlefields, and started reading some of the monuments and some of the people whose names are on the walls over there. It's pretty impressive.
With the Before the Glory interviews, we always start off with where you were born. Your dad was born in the Dominican. Your mom was she also born in the Dominican?
Puerto Rico.
So each parent different
Yes.
spot. Were you born in the States?
I was born in Puerto Rico,
What year were you born?
1956.
So when you were born, your pop was still playing Major League Baseball.
Yes.
When you grew up, did you stay in Puerto Rico a lot so that you were bilingual as a kid?
Well, I ended up coming at 5 years old, coming to live in Michigan, and that's where I went to school. And I ended up learning English because I spoke Spanish.
So you learned English because your pop was playing for the Tigers.
Yes.
When you got to the second, third, fourth grade, was your dad still in uniform playing? That you
Yes.
actually remember your dad as a player?
Yes, I do. I've seen him play in when he went to Pittsburgh, and then I got to see him play winter ball every year we went back to Puerto Rico. Because back then, if you played Major League Baseball, you had a winter job.
For the people that are watching this, they might be saying, who am I referring to? Ozzie's dad, Ozzie Sr., was the first Dominican to play in the major leagues. You know, there's Jackie Robinson, the first black. There's
Yes.
the first Puerto Rican. There's the first Dominican. History is big with baseball. When did that hit where the media or somebody was reminding you who your dad is? Because I didn't know it
Well,
back in the day. I didn't even know
I
it.
didn't know it for a long time, actually. It came up, and he got to go around to the different stadiums and stuff, and they wined and dined him, and he showed up there, and it was pretty cool. During that same year, the town where he's from, which is Monte Cristi, the president of the Dominican Republic ended up naming the airport
Really?
from his town after him. So it's pretty cool to have an airport named after me. No, yeah. So it was pretty cool. I mean, so that was it. My dad was the first non-Caucasian to play for the Tigers. So he was part of that thing.
So
too.
being a Dominican for the Tigers, he preceded the first black player for the Tigers.
He was it.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. What did he say? Did he? I mean,
Well,
you were around as a kid when Martin Luther King was doing his thing. Your dad had to get some crap.
he got a lot of crap. The thing that I've heard is that him playing for the Tigers, the blacks didn't accept him because he wasn't black enough, and the whites didn't accept him because he wasn't white enough. So, the stuff that's going on now, it's ridiculous. This racial thing. During that time, my dad had they had a couple of other Latin guys that they used to go on the buses and stuff, and luckily I don't know what manager it was, but if they didn't let them stay there, they wouldn't stay. The team wouldn't stay there.
Really?
So so they got to, when they were going to the South, playing in different places, they got to, eat in the restaurants and all that. He got to see all that.
With Jackie Robinson, he made an agreement with the Dodgers to be peaceful and quiet and turn the cheek for 2 or 3 years. And then Branch Rickey said, you're on your own. What type of guy was your dad?
Well, he was the type of guy that put up with a lot of stuff. I think it was no easy road for him. He swung his way off the island, as they say, and being the first on a couple things, it was quite a road that he traveled. I mean, luckily, they had some pretty good players that came out of there too right after him. Marichal and the Lou brothers, and
Sure.
so they were part of that group too. So, I think the Giants are the ones that went out and got most of the Latin players.
They got all the Alou brothers.
Yeah.
They got Marichal.
They started it.
Yeah.
The Giants started all that.
That's and then the rest of the team's got to say, as the Giants go to the '62 World Series,
Yeah.
with the Alou brothers and Marichal on the mound, that not only is the talent there, but it's cheap.
Yeah.
With being in Detroit, did you have, and you're a little kid, you're around the clubhouse or the team, did you have a favorite player, or did you like hanging around somebody?
Being in Detroit, I think I was more like, I think I was about 5 years old, I believe, when we moved there. I remember moving there and everything. And, we had a guy named Chico Fernandez who lived in our place upstairs.
He's still alive, and he's in Florida, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah.
Wow, that's something. But he was upstairs, and he was part of the Latin group that was there. Willie Horton was on the team. There, I don't remember him, but I should have, as much as he yelled. But they had a lot of good players. As far as my favorite player down there, which was a little bit afterwards, was Willie Horton.
Oh yeah.
So
It's a huge fire hydrant of muscle.
Yep.
They said, when I hear stories about Willie, if there was a fight back in the '60s, everybody would just look, where's Willie? Because
he'd take your head off.
He was a mountain of power.
Yeah.
And why was he your favorite? Did he clown with you, or did you just?
Not only did I get to, be around Willie in Detroit, I got to be around him in Puerto Rico, because a lot of those guys, they went and played ball and winter ball too. So
sure.
They were all coming up, and Mickey Stanley and Horton and those guys were coming up. So it was pretty neat to be around the clubhouse, especially being a Tiger. Tiger was pretty. During that time they had pretty good teams.
Did your dad go somewhere after Detroit, or was that the end of his playing career?
No, he ended up going to. After that, he went to Pittsburgh. Then he went to the Giants to play there.
Okay, yeah, as a member of the Giants.
Yeah, he ended up retiring in 1969, and Clyde King came up to him and told him, "I want you to be a player coach," and so that's what he did.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because all these guys that were in town for the banquet, when they heard your name, the first thing they asked, Gullick's Rogers, because he was a loved and respected coach for the Expos. They said, "Is his dad coming?"
Yeah,
isn't that weird?
Yeah, Dodson. The first thing he said when I saw him is, "How's your dad doing?"
Yeah.
They all asked him. I don't think there's anybody that said anything bad about my dad. That's one thing that's throughout baseball. I never heard anybody say anything that bad about my dad. Like, you'll have these coaches that are, not player coaches. I mean, my dad was more of a player coach. He always took care of the ball players.
Sure.
And they always liked them, and he made them work, and and they appreciate a lot of stuff they did when he was coaching. And as a player, he was a real good player, utility player, and he played anywhere. I mean, I think he was in Rochester and he played 9 positions in one game. So he's one of the ones that's done it, but in the minors back then.
Sure. Well, when did you get noticed? It had to be in high school somewhere.
Well, I didn't play too much organized ball because I was always moving around, and so once I got into high school, I ended up playing on the high school team, and then I played some summer ball, and I never pretty much finished any of the summer ball team or leagues because I ended up going to San Francisco to work, and I go there and take batting practice, and
with the Giants.
With the Giants. So I go there real early, and I go shag fly balls, and that was kind of what my life was, and I got to see all these players come through there.
Mays, Marichal, the Alou brothers.
All of them.